And there's one director to rule them all.
Just a couple of little tweaks and we'll be there.
A New Zealand director, mostly known before this for some stylish zombie movies, who became entrusted with one of the biggest box office gambles in modern film history. You've now got a backstage pass to watch them all as they shoot the last scenes of the last movie of the trilogy. Return of the King is about to open. We're going to Middle-earth, and you are invited.
Give him the sword of the king.
Become who you were born to be.
And cut.
Director Peter Jackson orchestrated the principal photography for all three movies at the same time 4 years ago. That's a first in filmmaking history. That's right, they shot film 1, film 2, and film 3 all at once. But this summer, cast and crew came back to New Zealand to touch up some scenes and add a few new ones.
These are immensely complicated films. I mean, probably some of the most complicated films ever made. You had to get 200 horses up on top of this hilltop. This was a day. The following day, we were doing an equally complicated scene somewhere else.
26,000 extras, a production team of 2,400, 20,000 props, each one created from scratch. Everything from glassware and wardrobes to artificial feet for the Hobbit characters to wear and talking trees.
Treebeard, some call me.
This day, we fight! Thousands of pieces of armor were forged for the grand final battle of the third film, the Battle of Pelennor Fields. And Jackson couldn't just film the army, he had to feed them too. 1,440 eggs and 400 loaves of bread for breakfast. There are thousands of hours of exhausting reality behind every moment of fantasy. Hear those monstrous orcs roaring, stamping their horrible weapons? How on earth would you get that sound? Peter Jackson did it with a New Zealand sports stadium full of fans. He said stop, and they stopped. He said roar. And if you think the filmmakers searched the world over for their exotic locales, think again. Every fantastical vista was shot in the director's own backyard, his native New Zealand. The peaceful shire the hobbits must leave on their treacherous journey is actually a sheep farm on the North Island of New Zealand. When the evil wizard Saruman stands in Isengard, he stands near the resort area of Queenstown. And the beautiful elf kingdoms, Rivendell and Lothlorien, digital creations born in a special effects warehouse. This film trilogy is so popular, it has made its actors into icons. Elijah Wood, playing the gentle hobbit Frodo, the ring bearer. He was only 17 when they began shooting 4 years ago.
We had to stop our lives for this. This became our lives.
Liv Tyler, the immortal elf princess, who learned a new language for the role. She now speaks Elvish.
Gwenwen in Enina, Uarnech inaithisi Kelly.
Orlando Bloom, another elf, this one with a bow and arrow that never miss, and a long blonde wig never out of place.
I couldn't really get into the costume and have the blonde wig on and not stand to attention.
Sir Ian McKellen, the wizard Gandalf, whose magic can defeat a demon, but not without great sacrifice.
It's about something that really matters, which is doing your best against the most amazing odds.
And Viggo Mortensen, the intense and charismatic King Aragorn. He got the part when another actor was fired after only 1 day of shooting. With just 24 hours to decide, Mortensen took the role that may define his career. Why? His 13-year-old son loved the story. The first two films, which have made nearly $2 billion, are among the highest-grossing films of all time. And that doesn't even include more than 40 million home videos and an armada of marketing tie-ins. That is an Air New Zealand plane themed to Lord of the Rings.
I have a friend, and he told me he was in the airport somewhere, and all of a sudden he was sitting on his plane, and another plane came by, and there was like my giant eyeball just went by his window.
At a moment when the world truly needs some heroes, wizards, hobbits, elves, and humans from J.R.R. Tolkien's 1950s novels have reshaped the entertainment landscape. The actors believe it's because these fantasy characters tap into a bedrock reality.
There isn't always an easy answer, and even after you've made a decision, it's not always clear that it was right or wrong, but you have to continue.
Film fans, soon your questions will all be answered. Can Frodo resist evil and destroy the ring?
It's taking hold of you, Mr. Frodo. You have to fight it. I know what I have to do, Sam.
Can Aragorn conquer his doubts?
6,000 will not be enough to break the lines of mortal.
More will come.
Can a princess's love, a friend's loyalty, and a wizard's magic triumph?
Show us the meaning of haste.
Mary!
And can Peter Jackson's trilogy break box office records and bring home the Oscars its studio New Line Cinema hungers for?
They will follow you into battle, even to death. You have given us hope.
We've got your passport, and the final journey is about to begin.
I want to marry you.
I marry you. I marry you.
On December 25th,
He ain't coming back, you know that.
find the way home.
Come back to me.
I ain't getting shot again for some cause I don't believe in.
Jude Law, Nicole Kidman, Renee Zellweger, from Academy Award-winning director Anthony Minghella. Cold Mountain, in theaters everywhere this Christmas. This film may get rated.
Santa baby, slip a table under the tree for me. Been an awful good girl, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, a comfy little sofa for two.
Wannabe actor, and there's a lot of good ones out there.
Before Q set up. Where did he go after you last saw him? I have no idea. Why do you think he left?
Yankee Doodles. Tony, I'm so sorry. Look, I'll untie you right away, all right?
Thank you. You know, when this is all over, I'm gonna deliver one well-placed kick to your groin that'll stop you from ever having children again, you worthless piece of...
Are these ropes tight enough? Because we can get more if we need them. You know, I was gonna help you out, but now, I'm gonna have to take you down.
Where will you take us?
We've been a family company since 1886. It was founded by my great-grandfather, and my son has been working here his whole life. He has a great opportunity to build on what is there.
I feel a responsibility to my family and all the families who buy Pledge or Glade or Ziploc or any of our...
Diane is off tonight, but we're delighted to welcome you to this Primetime special event. Tonight, this broadcast considers subjects... Diane is off tonight, but we're delighted to welcome you to this Primetime special event. Tonight, this broadcast considers subjects no less than good and evil. Also, wizards and monsters, secrets and sorcery, and $2 billion in box office gold. We're speaking, of course, about the final installment of the biggest film epic ever, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Jay Shadler visited Middle-earth, and he has brought back all the secrets of the film. Jay?
Thanks, Charlie. Tonight, for the very first time, you'll see the magic behind the magic. How one of the world's greatest Shakespearean actors became the greatest wizard of all time. How one of the film's strangest creatures, this little fellow, starts out as this guy. And how a handful of costume bad guys multiply into monstrous battle scenes big enough for the director's imagination. We begin our tour here. You may know it as Middle-earth, but in fact, it's in the middle of New Zealand. New Zealand is the first country on Earth to greet the sunrise every day. But long before dawn, the workday is beginning for Lord of the Rings.
We try to time it so that by the time we've all had breakfast and gotten on the set, the sun's just starting to rise.
We meet up with director Peter Jackson for his 10-minute commute to the set of Middle-earth. Peter, where do you get your energy, for goodness sake? I mean, it's such an overwhelming amount of time and energy required?
Well, I never feel like I have energy, to be quite honest. I always feel tired, just permanently tired, but never tired to the point that I fall over. I guess there's energy in there somewhere.
Across town, our cameras follow star Viggo Mortensen, who plays the reluctant King Aragorn. Mortensen is running errands,
Have a good day.
flowers for his trailer, before going to the set for makeup.
This used to be an old paint factory. We bought it just before we started Lord of the Rings.
It's a little after 7 when we arrive at the studio with Peter Jackson, who eats breakfast with his production team just about every day.
Barry's our producer.
Hi, Barry. Nice to meet you, Jim.
That is a table full of Oscar winners you're looking at, except for Jackson. Hollywood has a history of not giving Oscars to blockbusters or fantasy stories, and Jackson's films are both. His studio, New Line Cinema, hopes this third movie will change all that.
This is a small section of Isengard after it gets flooded.
By 8 o'clock, Jackson is blocking out the first scene of the day.
It'll be good to do a little tighten, I guess, on the zoom, just to kind of emphasize his reaction to that.
Ian McKellen, Gandalf the Wizard, standing in ruins. Remember, they shot the wide shots for all 3 movies at the same time 4 years ago, but Jackson now wants new close-ups.
This wind is building up more and more, but we've only got this bit to do and one other tiny bit, and then we're inside.
8:15, Viggo Mortensen's got into his trailer. His first chore is the one actors often complain about, makeup.
I'm actually terrified of seeing what he does.
He has to add a wig to become a fighting King Aragorn. Curious in an actor, but he doesn't like to look at his mirror. It's covered with clippings, notes, drawings, and a snapshot of Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom, who plays the elf. He says here, Exhibit A, you notice the superior quality of the pointy ear. We saved a pair for you humans.
Ah, the elf, Legolas. Over the years of shooting, the cast has had a running joke. The elves, elegant and flawless. The humans, blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of mud.
You look terrible.
He's a smelly, stinking human. He was all prissy about the elves because I never got a scratch.
They never sleep. They never seem to get that dirty.
And he was like bloody and messy and beaten up.
They never really miss with their bow and arrows.
There was always another arrow in the quiver. You know, I mean, elves are like superhuman.
Not the easiest people to be around.
No.
So, you know, elf envy. They all had it.
Elf envy or not, they clearly admire each other.
Orlando stands out as, I think, one of the cast members who had to, without the benefit of many words at all, make you believe instantly.
Legolas doesn't speak a lot, you know, he's kind of the quiet type. Everyone else was saying things and stuff, and I was sort of just the sort of guy in the background going, what's going on? I'm sensing something.
It's a cast that has certainly grown close. The 9 actors who make up the fellowship of the first movie even got matching tattoos, though the design and precise location remains, as they say, under wraps.
It's kind of like the tattoo is for us, the movie is for you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, you can see him being hit by the wind, can't you? Yeah, the way he kind of gets knocked.
9:30 a.m. Peter Jackson's been up for 4 hours already, and you can see through his monitor that he's struggling with his wizard and the wind.
The thing that you're looking for now, is it an emotional thing or a compositional thing?
Right at the moment, it's a little bit more tension from Ian.
If it's not one thing, it's another. The Wellington Airport is just over the hill, and the sound of jets just don't belong in Middle-earth.
Cut.
And still the wind will not leave the wizard's hair alone.
The second you get a bit of wind, and guess what? We're in one of the windiest places in the world.
It's harrowing, especially when everyone in your cast is wearing a wig.
It was actually one of the most scary things going into the film, is the idea that everyone had to wear wigs, because often they look so fake.
Fake is something Jackson will not tolerate. From wigs to wardrobe, Jackson has spent millions to create an authentic world. Costume pieces, even a princess's undergarments that will never be seen by the audience, are still crafted to perfection. If the actors feel it's real, the audience will too.
Is that part of the reason why detail is so important for you? I mean, detail down to the threads of the clothes. The actor can believe his part more.
The actor can believe the part, and the audience can believe it, yeah.
It's an expensive habit. A lot of the money has been spent here at the special effects factory named Weta Workshop.
Welcome to Weta.
Richard Taylor is the workshop's lord and master.
In the case of the poor hobbit, They have to wear a foam latex foot every day they're on set.
This huge warehouse is a few miles from the main lot. This is where they built the fantasy from the ground up, including talking trees.
Never heard of a hobbit before.
Bringing Treebeard to life was an incredible task. How do you personify a tree? And rather than creating a man-like character with tree attributes, we wanted to create a tree that on second look you could see the face hidden away in the bark. And so that was the design philosophy behind Treebeard's face. He's become a great old friend to us, so it's a hard thought to think we'd put him out to pasture.
We heard this from everyone on the set during these last shooting days. They can't quite believe the world they've been building for so many years is about to disappear.
You must take it.
You cannot offer me this ring.
I'm giving it to you.
Don't tempt me further.
But what about the holy grail of props? The ring itself, the ring of power that makes its wearer invisible, enshrined in a velvet case, perhaps. Try Tupperware, labeled battery packs, wires for Gandalf, by art director Dan Henna, to disguise it from any souvenir hunters. Can you imagine how much this might fetch on eBay?
For the movie, nearly a dozen separate rings were cast, different sizes. There was one, of course, for the fire scene with Gandalf, another for close-ups, and of course there was one for Frodo's finger. But there's only one ring with the true power, one ring to rule them all. I doubt very much this is it.
Never underestimate the power of the ring.
The winds of war are coming to Middle-earth. And the orcs are loose.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
Preparing for the ultimate battle when Primetime returns.
Mother Nature provided some animals with warm coats for winter. Some she did not. But growing...
For everyone who sees Lord of the Rings, the question is, how did they do it? Well, with a little Middle-earth magic and 21st century style. Much of what I saw while we were there was shot against a giant blue screen, which allowed the film wizards to conjure up everything from a 7-story castle to a battalion of monstrous orcs here at Pelennor Fields. The movie's ultimate battle for Middle-earth is waged in a place called Pelennor Fields. The wide shot's taken 3 years ago. This colossal clash is a planned distraction, allowing the little hobbit Frodo with the evil ring to sneak behind Mount Doom, where the ring might be destroyed. But Pelennor Fields needs more close-ups. Careful choreography of warriors cloaked in good and evil. Strange not hearing the clang of steel, but that's added later. Director Peter Jackson will keep shooting battle scenes until they match his imagination. By our count, Aragorn has bounded into the breach 19 times today already.
Cap! Captain!
This is the first time I sat down all day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand back up.
It is gritty, physical labor, punctuated with moments of complete boredom only an orc might fully appreciate.
Songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side.
Some of the orcs are girls, fans, just here for a few days.
We're down here for a holiday, so just thought we'd give it a go.
Young Johnny Grindlay wanders among them with a food tray. He used to be just a fan who hung around the set. Hang around long enough, and you're in charge of snacks. And here's another inside tidbit. See that orc fighting Aragorn? His name is Lawrence McCory, and he spent 4 hours getting into that makeup. What you don't know is that he is Lawrence, too. He already fought and died in the first movie. But, of course, only an orc's mother would ever know.
30-minute lunch today, folks, 30 minutes.
It's Armageddon, followed by barbecued chicken, Caesar salad, and an assortment of pastries. As for Aragorn, on set a king, off the set a jester. Waiting for the battle to start up again, warriors play cards. What's a little poker among enemies?
We'll kill them on set and we'll play cards with them in the mess.
Orcs cheat. Orcs are dirty, man.
Cheat?
Oh, mate, big time.
A small problem. Mortensen, still in full costume, wants to duck out for a noontime errand. But there is a strict rule against going off campus in costume. They want to cover him with a robe.
Really disguised myself with this bathrobe.
To keep the myth of Middle-earth alive, kings and hobbits should not be seen, and more importantly, photographed in the real world. Meanwhile, director Peter Jackson, as he so often does, is not stopping for lunch. He's scouting a location a few miles from the studio.
They'll make a quick determination of whether or not they can shoot a scene with Gollum and Frodo and Sam. It's a very natural setting, and Peter has mentioned to me that nature is often the very best set designer.
Curiously, Jackson always has his hobbits moving from left to right on the screen, and for a reason.
Coming towards us here feels quite good because we do want them basically travelling left to right. Yeah. So, see, if you look at the movie, ever since they leave Hobbiton, on their way to Mordor, they travel left to right across the frame. But I've always thought once they walk away, they should always be travelling in one direction.
Jackson, of course, reminds a lot of folks of a scruffy hobbit himself, though he confessed as we walked along the ridge, right to left, that it was another furry creature that first led him into film when he was only 8 years old. Another fantasy world, King Kong.
It was the fact that it wasn't real, and yet I believed totally in the emotions of the film. I mean, I was looking at dinosaurs and a giant gorilla, and it was black and white. It was set in a bygone era, so there was all that impediment. But nonetheless, I cried at the end.
That childhood experience is key to Jackson's approach with Lord of the Rings. Though special effects certainly were all the buzz in the second movie, Jackson insists characters, not computers, drive the final film.
This is not the first halfling to have crossed your paths. No.
You've seen Frodo and Sam? Get beyond the special effects and back to the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, the sheer wizardry of special effects is hard to deny. Take that hybrid of human actor and digital beast called Gollum. He's a bad guy who's trying to be good.
Really nice, really nice to
He used to be a hobbit like Frodo, till the ring corrupted him. Now he's helping the hobbits destroy the ring. Or is he? Is he loyal to Frodo, or only to the power of the evil ring? Actor Andy Serkis is Gollum, and models Gollum's voice on his own cat.
When you're feeling a little bit tight in the throat in the morning, lemon juice.
Ready?
Watch this.
And action.
Serkis plays the scene in a skin-tight motion capture suit so that cameras programmed for computers can record his every move.
Never!
Eventually, the scenes can evolve like this.
Ah! It's a horrid, fat, horrid,
A tour de force of visual effects from designers Dean Wright and Jim Riegel.
Over the course of time, Andy was so good at it that he became Gollum, and Peter was just, he just started saying, copy this guy.
Of course, Gollum is only one of the trilogy's sophisticated computer tricks.
This sort of filmmaking that you're seeing here, I think, is what is going to happen in the future to a lot of films, where you build a piece of set to do the scene that you need to, but at some point, blue screen just takes over.
Beginning with master artist Alan Lee's first sketches, the scene grows in complexity with each additional pass. That blue screen behind the set allows the director to digitally layer in whatever backdrop an artist's imagination can conjure. And oh, how they can conjure.
Minas Tirith, City of Kings.
Sometimes the magic is miniature. This colossal 7-tiered city of kings, Minas Tirith, is actually a 16-foot high model built from foam, resin, steel, and dreams.
These shots are entirely effects. There's no live component. It's all a miniature component and then a digitally animated component.
Alex Funke heads the movie's miniatures team.
If the audience says, wow, that was a great effect shot, it means you haven't done your job.
Yeah.
Because you've kicked them out of the story. You've kicked them out of the involvement with the film because they were looking at what you did instead of looking at the story the director was telling.
Lord of the Rings' expensive and complete obsession to detail is nowhere more striking than right here. Outside the tiny windows, laundry hangs. Along the city walls, moss grows. And look over here.
This is a side of the model that is rarely shot.
Probably never see this.
Probably never seen in the movie, and yet here are 50 stairs that go up into a tunnel.
That's the thing that gives the spirit to the work.
And it's the spirit that Peter Jackson is working on this afternoon. A critical scene for the third movie is being prepped for filming. We're in the Golden Hall. Aragorn is here, and so is Gandalf. But Jackson isn't getting what he wants.
We're trying to make Gandalf a bit more vulnerable in this film, which I think is important, that he's not, he's not a perfect wizard.
Of course, that doesn't keep Jackson from demanding a perfect performance.
Fugitives. Evil has its day. Faith is tested. Danger lurks. But special effects can't help now.
Got action!
Take after take, it all comes down to a king's close-up and a wizard's smile.
And cut!
When Primetime returns.
I'll be speaking Elvish in my sleep. It's not just like this, it's like... And it's almost like really... Like, doing it again and again and again.
When Primetime's journey to Middle-earth continues after this from our ABC stations.
Coming up next on News 8 at 10.
The investigation intensifies. I'm Gloria Campos, live in the Channel 8 newsroom. Tonight at 10, what prompted today's raid on the Dallas County Sheriff's Department offices? Plus, more trouble for Rush Limbaugh. Find out why investigators now want to talk to the talk show host, Doctor. And wide open spaces just waiting to be explored.
Game some more on Antoine Jameson. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Marv, you mentioned those back-to-back 51-point games. I had 51 against Seattle the game before. But the big footnote is the next time he played against the Lakers, he was challenged and very hard by Robert Horry, Horace Grant, and Mark Madsen. Jameson went from 51 points against the Lakers one game to a 0. No points the following time when he played against the Lakers. Phil Jackson challenged his team to shut him down.
New, completely redesigned 2004 Ford F-150, keeping Ford the best in Texas. Now with 1.9 financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 cash for current Ford owners. 2 tough trucks, 2 great offers, but only for a limited time. See them both at your Texas Ford dealer today.
Coming up on News 8 Daybreak, floats, costumes, and bands. Oh my! The Y Guys live with a preview of the Neiman Marcus Adolphus Children's Parade.
Plus, cold for your morning commute. We'll have the latest traffic and weather updates. Join us tomorrow on News 8 Daybreak, 5 to 7 a.m.
These days, you can never have too much security. A premise built into every Schlage lock. Stop them with a Schlage.
We've had a great time in Denton tonight collecting toys for Santa's helpers, and it's been really quite mild. We don't even have to zip up the jackets. But tomorrow, oh yeah, it's going to get colder. News 8 at 10.
He rages and twinkles.
I am Gandalf the White.
He's immortal.
I strayed out of thought and time.
And imperfect. How did this wizard come to life?
Gandalf emerged for me from his look. And that was devised by a committee of makeup artists and director and photographer and me in front of a mirror over 3 days whilst we put together a variety of looks, of shapes of noses, of length of eyebrows, beards, moustaches, wigs, plus bits of costume, of course. And suddenly Gandalf was looking at me, and I could just twinkle and discover there was a voice that looked, felt a match for the look. You did not kill me. You will not kill him. So it was the look. And once I got the look, I got the walk. Once I got the walk and the look, I was walking around in the costumes on the unlevel ground of New Zealand, I felt I was real.
This is but a taste of a terror that Saruman...
Sir Ian McKellen, weaned on Shakespeare, has become a pop icon as Gandalf. And fans of this wizard take obsessive pleasure in dissecting every nuance of his performance. And so does Peter Jackson.
B-marker.
No news from Gondor.
No word.
This scene in the Golden Hall between Gandalf and Aragorn will last less than a minute in the final film.
It had Vigo coming in the back.
But it has already consumed more than 6 hours on set, with a cast and crew of 392 people.
And action!
In the midst of this elaborate set and multi-million-dollar production, director Peter Jackson is not getting exactly what he wants.
Take number 10 on this. What are you going after for here? Well, it's just a really subtle kind of feeling that I want to try to convey.
They fear that Frodo is no closer to Mordor, that he may not even be alive, and that the ring, with all of its evil power, will be unleashed.
Rolling.
Every day, Frodo moves closer to Mordor.
Cut.
Each character fears doom, but tries to keep the other from losing hope.
It's like you're trying to give him a bit of parental comfort, really. You're trying to reassure him. I mean, his confidence is wavering.
Every day, Frodo moves closer to Mordor. Every day, Frodo moves closer to Mordor. How do we know that? What does your heart tell you?
Very close. And cut. We'll just try one more. He's almost there. I think probably one more take will get.
What does your heart tell you? That Frodo lives.
Finally, after they played this scene at least 28 times, they get it right.
Okay, cut. Okay, I think we got that. That's good.
Look around this scene, and you won't see many women. Tolkien's fellowship, after all, is about, well, fellows. But in Jackson's Middle-earth, 2 women will be memorable. The warrior Éowyn and the elf princess Arwen.
If you want him, come and claim him.
Arwen and Éowyn are more than just a dose of 21st century feminism.
You've some skill with a blade.
Without them, Lord of the Rings is left without a love interest, and blockbusters, for all of their special effects and fantasies, still need a little romance. Will he choose her or this elf, who is faced with her own terrible choice? If she follows her heart to love a human, she must give up her immortality and die.
I choose a mortal life.
You really start to see how actually powerful and profound this decision that she's made is, and that she might not survive, and she might not ever see him again, and that she's given up everything, you know?
This love story between Arwen and Aragorn was only a minor subplot in J.R.R. Tolkien's trilogy. The full story was only told in an appendix. Arwen, played by Liv Tyler, is arguably director Peter Jackson's biggest departure from Tolkien.
When we're on the bridge, there's this line where I say,
That's Elvish she's speaking. Tolkien was a professor of languages and invented this one.
I'll probably remember it all for the rest of my life. I'll be speaking Elvish in my sleep. I can say, Lau hirnin, udalen iriu, anirach nuilu guanad uin guaithlin.
Where is she? The woman who gave you that jewel.
Princess Éowyn, played by Australian actress Miranda Otto, is just as lovely, but a lot less dainty.
I fear neither death nor pain.
She went through days of combat choreography, even on horseback, because she's not just a princess, she's a heroine in battle.
She decides to dress up as a man and disguises herself and goes to war as a warrior because she feels that she would rather be, she would rather die in action than sort of suffer and wither away.
Whatever happens, stay with me.
This day, we fight!
And it's almost like really, like, and it's, you know, doing it again and again and again.
Well, this is where we started this morning, wasn't it? Right out.
Still, as hard as the actors work on this movie, director Peter Jackson's got them all beat. Up since before dawn, he'll now be editing deep into the night. Oh, look at the moon.
Yeah, you get some big moons down here.
Peter Jackson's work really began years ago, and to save money, he decided to shoot all 3 movies at the same time. Sets only had to be built once, and the actors were signed for the entire trilogy for just 1 fee. But when it became clear just how much money these movies were making, some actors began to grumble, and the studio gave all the stars a bonus. We'll be right back.
Boys' Night Out, hoisting a few with the Hobbits.
Potatoes. You're being so fat, sorry.
How much did you have to gain?
Like 35, 40 pounds. I don't know if I had to gain that much, but I ultimately did gain.
Life is unpredictable, but your asthma doesn't always have to be.
Go.
Because today there's Advair, the first and only preventative asthma product to treat the 2 main components of asthma, airway constriction and inflammation.
Go.
Advair is clinically proven to significantly increase symptom-free days. To help you do more of the things you want to do,
Go.
more of the things you have to do, and more of what life throws your way. Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Rare but serious asthma episodes and asthma-related fatalities occurred in a study with Ceravent, one of the components of Advair. These risks may be greater in African Americans. While adjusting to a switch from an oral steroid like prednisone to the inhaled steroid in Advair, be very careful, as you may be less able to heal after surgery, infection, or serious injury. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve. Talk to your doctor to see if Advair is right for you.
Go.
Right here, right now, this is the place for the holiday.
'Tis the season for Kmart. Decorate. Illuminate. Celebrate with Martha Stewart every day. It's in the K.
Right here, right now, this is the place for the right here, right now, Kmart.
You've been waiting to do this for years. Don't let arthritis pain stop you. Grab some Tylenol arthritis pain with the time-release formula for all-day relief. Tylenol arthritis pain.
Hanes created the Comfort Soft waistband because we know guys. To get comfortable, they will employ every available resource. They will improvise when necessary. Guys will pass on their comfort-seeking skills to future generations.
Hello, Michael. Hey, Doc. See how the new Hanes Comfort Soft waistband is wrapped in cotton? And it's tagless.
Wow, this could be our most comfortable underwear ever.
Monday night. How hard is it to stay healthy? Here's something you may not know. There are forces working against you. The government, the food industry, and it has a lot to do with money. They say if you're overweight, it's your fault. But is that the whole story? Peter Jennings reporting how to get fat without really trying. Monday.
When you're live, you can't hide the truth.
How many people expect they're going to get a Christmas bonus this year? If you're on the staff, put your hands down.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, ABC Late Night Tonight.
You make it clear I own this town.
Tuesday night, ABC shattered the boundaries of network television.
Why is Malloy always one step ahead of us?
This Tuesday, prepare to cross the line again.
What do you want me to do? Steal the money back?
Yeah. Go, go, go!
FBI! A new Line of Fire, Tuesday at 10/9 Central on ABC.
Coming up on News 8, a city slicker's dream and a way to save what makes the Lone Star State so...
O'Neill trying to go glass.
Homes, Bassett Furniture Direct, and Channel 8. Once again, Jay Shadler.
At the end of a day of shooting, what's left for a bunch of hobbits when the costumes and the furry feet come off? Well, as you're about to see, a group of actors who started as strangers 4 years ago remain wherever they go, and whatever they wear, a true fellowship of the ring.
Never above you, never below you. Always beside you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah. As you look back over, what is this, 4 years of filming?
Yeah, it'll be 4 years.
Brightest moments for you, happiest moments as a group.
For me, being surrounded by beautiful women and sleeping on a huge pile of cash.
I've seen you. Ah, you can take the Hobbit out of the Shire. Finally out of costume, that's Elijah Wood, Frodo to the world.
You've left out one of the chief characters.
Sean Astin, he's Sam.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd. Mary and Pippin.
Mushrooms.
Plus, Andy Serkis is here too, minus his computerized alter ego Gollum, who he compares to a junkie.
So the whole way I've kind of approached Gollum is that he's like a heroin addict. He's a junkie and the ring is his fix. And he's so physically and mentally he's tortured in the same way that an addict would be.
Sure.
So that it's not kind of an abstract kind of concept. It's something that you can play as an actor.
Sean Astin, on the other hand, had a more weighty problem. His character, Samwise, had to be chubby.
Lovely big golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish.
Being so fat was hard.
How much did you have to gain?
Like 35, 40 pounds. I don't know if I had to gain that much, but I ultimately did gain it started out where we would do sword fighting or, you know, rock climbing or whatever we were doing, and I could do it. I could jump over anything, and sort of by the end, it was like, well, Pete, I can't really bend down and touch my toes, so can we stage this slightly differently so I can, you know.
A few moments around this table, and you know these friendships will last long beyond the final cut.
On this job, it's defined my social group, you know? It's created a new social group for me.
Yep. I mean, I've gained lifelong friends, and my life path has changed as a result of it.
More than just entertainment, the cast is aware that these movies, where fantastical hobbits join elves and kings to battle a great evil, have struck a deep chord with the public. What is it about now, you think, that the message of the movie seems to strike home to so many people?
The story is so strong that anyone's going to respond to it, you know? And I think we as people all want to find the person that we most believe in, the person that will save the day, as being the everyday guy.
Release him, or I'll cut your throat.
Yeah. Because that's us.
Right.
You know, we feel like, well, maybe I could do that, and maybe I could be Frodo. It's the little people, it's the normal folk that you empathize with.
Yeah. We all understand that the greatest heroes are not Hollywood heroes, who you know are going to be the heroes because they look like the heroes.
I mean, it's within all of us, that basic idea of good versus evil in the most simplest of ways and on the most grand of scales. And I think that's why the book has remained such a popular book over time. I mean, I think the 60s, obviously, it was being mirrored against Vietnam and all of those kind of things, so the hippies really took it to heart.
Yes, we did.
What are we holding on to, Sam? There's some good in this world, Mr. Furlong, and it's worth fighting for.
Perhaps one of the secrets of the success of these films is that they debuted in a world reeling from the September 11th attacks, a world where monsters truly lurk, and where, naively or not, the battle between good and evil seems to be waged daily. That battle seems so far away on this distant island, and yet the actors believe New Zealand's remoteness is part of the very soul of these movies.
The fact that not only was it just simply New Zealand, but the fact that we were all out of our element here lent itself to the film.
If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
I don't think that the atmosphere that we were able to create on this, that family atmosphere, that closeness, would have been accomplished anywhere else. If we'd been in Los Angeles,
life would have been just continuing as normal. Now everyone had to create.
We had to stop our lives for this. This became our lives, you know.
Marooned on an island nation 11 hours from Hollywood. For the stars, months of their lives on set. Take after take, as Jackson sought perfection. For some, the physical work of battle and rehearsal for battle. 2,350 shooting days in all. And then there's the promotion, the interviews. These people have lived in Middle-earth so long that it's as real to them as your backyard is to you. You'd think after all of this, they'd want to leave Middle-earth behind. Not so.
I'm in Frodo's spare room in Baghdad. That's right.
Are you leaving, darling? But now they're leaving New Zealand, and it's over.
So I kind of lost touch with any other reality, and everyone used to feel the same way. Everyone was saying towards the end, how do you leave Middle-earth? You know, how do you make that journey back?
It's so sad because I love everyone, and saying goodbye was so painful.
Okay, here we go. Well, you don't have to leave Middle-earth just yet. When we come back, the premieres, and a scene from the final movie, The Return of the King.
Leaving Middle-earth for the red carpet. And a scene nobody's seen.
This was my choice.
For the latest video highlights, log on to America Online, keyword ABC News. We'll be right back.
Next at 10, why a search warrant was served at the Dallas County Sheriff's Office.
Plus, an arrest in connection with a string of City Hall burglaries across Texas.
And trade talks surrounding Rangers superstar Alex Rodriguez heat up. News 8 at 10 is next.
At Kohl's, everything is on sale this Saturday only from 6 a.m. to...
I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he doesn't like him?
Yes.
That's not very nice.
Well, there are a few players that around the league, as you know, Steve, that don't have a real fondness for Sean Bradley. Sean has a way of nailing you with his elbows, with his flailing arms, and then he takes some intentionally. A couple years back, he took some very hard intentional fouls that people were not very forgiving about.
Well, those elbows are going to knock some people around, whether it's intentional or not. The man is 7'6". But you're right, he has made some people angry in this league.
So the Lakers now lead by 7, coming up on 1 minute remaining in this first half. Nash, offensive foul. Steve Nash arguing the call with the official, Tony Brothers. Brothers saying that he pushed out with his right hand.
As he started to turn the corner, he takes his right shoulder and moves it into the defender right there. You see Derek Fisher bounce back. That's Nash trying to initiate contact. Tony Brothers was right on the baseline with the proper angle when he made the call.
Now Jamison defending on O'Neal. Gary Payton extends to a 9-point Laker lead. 8 points for Payton. Lakers at 46% from the field. Dallas just 12 for 44, 27% shooting. Here's Nash. Daniels, another excellent opportunity for Daniels, and he could not convert. And now a foul is called. Don Nelson is upset. Apparently a technical foul on Nelson.
Nelly felt that Nash was hit on the arm at the end of the jump shot. He had been really upset with the offensive foul call on Nash, just a kind of a carryover from the
Hometown hero Peter Jackson played Grand Marshal as a crowd of 400,000 surged to see their heroes one last time. December is summer in New Zealand, so sunglasses on hobbits aren't so much a star turn as a necessity. Also on hand, Sir Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, and Liv Tyler. As for Liv Tyler, blow a kiss and make a wish. For remember, her character Arwen has made a difficult choice. She has given up eternal life as an elf princess to follow Aragorn, the human king, her true love. Here now is an exclusive glimpse at one of the final movie's most poignant moments, the princess and her father.
Your hands are cold. The life of the Eldar is leaving you.
This was my choice.
Mother, whether by your will or not, there is no ship now that can bear me hence.
And that's it from Middle-earth, which, of course, everyone can visit when Return of the King opens December 17th. By the way, if you have any more questions about my trip to the land of hobbits, go to abcnews.com. I'm Jay Shadler. Charlie?
Jay, our thanks. That's it for Primetime.
Do it again! Do it again!
Animated Super Buddy icons on new AOL 9.0 optimized for children of all ages. Look for the new AOL 9.0 optimized at these participating retail stores.
Time control. Your greatest weapon. Rewind. One of 5 ways to control time. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Rated T for teen.
In a city where chaos rules, only one man can save humanity from total destruction. Woohoo! It's up to Homer Simpson and family to save the world from a diabolical plot as they run and drive to unravel the conspiracy.
Blackbench!
Critics call it the best Simpsons game ever.
Get the lawsuit.
The Simpsons Hit and Run, rated T for teen.
I am evil Homer.
Majin Buu, Super Buu, Kid Buu. Evil comes in 3 new flavors. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for the PlayStation 2 console. If you've got a favorite character, you've got to fight. Rated T for teen.
You're watching a special holiday episode of Justice League. A holiday episode of Batman is next. Stay tuned for Popeye.
And if I can do it, after trying every other method there is, I know Smoke Away will work for anyone.
Smoke Away is the best product on the market today for quitting smoking.
Call right now and get $50 in free bonus gifts. This is a limited time offer. Call right now.
Majin Buu, Super Buu, Kid Buu. Evil comes in 3 new flavors. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for the PlayStation 2 console. If you've got a favorite character, you've got to fight. Rated T for teen.
I never worked here. I never saw anybody. I never was here. Now, extracting his memory.
Oh, what is this? It's for your memory wipe. What happened?
You're done.
What I'd like to do is get some money.
You forfeited your shares.
What?
You stated to deliver only the envelope of personal items.
Who sent these items?
Well, you did. 19 items.
And what you need to do is tell us everything that you did right now. This is a matter of national security.
I can't. You wiped my memory.
Let's work backwards. Why did you give up all that money?
To make sure I paid attention to these items.
19 clues will uncover his past
You don't remember me, do you?
and hold the key to protecting the future.
I built this machine to see the future, so we could prevent something terrible from happening. That's not what happens.
From John Woo, the director of Face Off and Mission Impossible 2.
I saw my future, and I saw what I needed to change it.
Ben Affleck.
I have to destroy the machine.
Aaron Eckhart.
Take him.
Uma Thurman.
Don't you believe in second chances?
Paycheck. Rated PG-13. Starts Christmas Day in theaters everywhere.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Hey, Zenga.
Why don't you tell everybody about our special present to our loyal viewers of Fridays?
Ooh, you think we should?
I do.
Okay, everybody, on the next Fridays, because you've been so great, we're presenting the Cartoon Network premiere of Osmosis Jones.
Uh-oh, you done it now.
And we're going to be making ornaments that you can make at home along with us.
That's right. And we'll have a little help from this guy.
Right. Oh, hey. And it's all right here on Fridays. This Friday starting at 7, only on Cartoon Network.
Caps, get him! Why you hit so hard?
And we're going to be making ornaments that you can make at home along with us.
That's right. And we'll have a little help from this guy.
Oh, hey. How's it going? And it's all right here on Fridays. This Friday starting at 7, only on Cartoon Network.
Yes.
This is your test. Every path you have trod through wilderness, through war, has led to this road.
We must not be precious. We must go back.
How do we know Frodo is alive? What does your heart tell you? The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Rated PG-13. Starts Wednesday.
Time control. Your greatest weapon. Rewind. One of 5 ways to control time. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Rated T for teen.
I'm going all out, crushing like Barkley. Feel the force and the power of my energy. It's like a sunstorm, a straight cyclone, setting the world on fire like a hole in the ozone. All kids gon' show you how. Got my 20 coming at you like wow.
The past meets the present. Introducing the new Nike 20 collection. Nowhere but Foot Locker.
Traffic's really backed up out there today. Cars are lined up for miles.
Hey, buddy.
I'm waiting to be impressed. Get The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen on DVD for your home. Available December 16th at Target.
Goku may be small, but he packs a punch.
How can a little body like that harness such enormous power?
Dragon Ball GT every Friday at 6:30. You must be this small to ride this ride.
You're watching a special holiday episode of Batman.
I'm Popeye the Sailor.
Popeye's up next. Stay tuned for the Chuck Jones Show.